So, welcome guys, it's Andy and Simon here from D6 Evolution.
Hello!
And it's Dark Angels time.
It is Dark Angels time.
Now, I am a huge Dark Angels fan, and I've got to say, this book brings some really interesting dynamics to the Unforgiven. So, let's dive straight in.
Okay, so just to let you guys know, because we're a competitive channel that focuses more on the competitive side of the game, we're not going to go through this as like a very comprehensive review of it. We're just going to go through like the really competitive stuff and go from there, really.
What are the awesome things? Because that's what we're all here to know about, isn't it?
Yeah, so where do you want to start then?
Yeah, should we start with the overview? Let's talk about their bonus for going pure. So, essentially, you get plus 6-inch range to your heavy and your rapid fire weapons if you run an army of pure Dark Angels. And if you bring assault weapons or pistols, it's plus 3 inches to your range. What do you think about that?
It's okay. It's not brilliant. I mean, when you compare it to some of the like vanilla marine stuff, it's kind of weak, but it's not terrible.
Yeah. So my issue with this is that you only get it in Devastator Doctrine. So for a start, half the bonuses there don't apply to heavy weapons, which is the only thing you get plus 1 AP to. So if you're a gun line purely running heavy weapons, it's a nice little bonus, and it's really cool. It starts at starts from the first turn, so all of your heavy weapons are going to be increased range, so they're going to be harder for your opponents to deploy against you, which I think is really nice. Things like plasma cannons. Eliminators are going to be really good.
Yeah, this probably favours Eliminator builds quite heavily.
Yeah, 42-inch range Eliminators. That's spicy.
Yeah.
And war suits with flamers.
War suits with flamers, yeah, 18-inch flamers is quite
Loving
nice.
Life on that.
Yeah, it's really good.
But I think anything which is assault based, such as the Black Knights, plus 3-inch range versus if you switch to Tactical Doctrine and got an extra minus 1 AP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather just take the minus
Same
1 AP.
with regular Deathwing with their Storm Bolters. They favour having the minus 1 AP to their bolters rather than the 6-inch range.
So from my side of things, I think this means if you're going to run pure Dark Angels, great, you get a plus 6-inch range, that's great. But I don't think you have to run pure Dark Angels. I think, in fact, this is just another thing which means that they're just going to be part of the Imperium soup again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. They get all the doctrines that Space Marine get as well, so it means you can ally in all your Space Marines, which I think is actually the biggest thing from this book already.
I think so. Yeah, I think being able to suit them with other stuff without having to be restricted to purely their own chapter makes them pretty competitive. I mean, there is some stuff we've come up with could make them quite nice.
Yeah. So, should we dive into the stratagems next?
Yes, let's do this.
And there are some really good stratagems in this book, and I'd argue that these things should have been here since the start of, since we first got our codex, but this really makes the Dark Angels tick. Okay guys, so what we're going to do with the stratagems is we're going to quickly go through the stratagems, and we're going to talk about the ones we really like. And I think with a lot of these stratagems, the things which I think are going to be really good with this are Deathwing Knights, Ravenwing Knights. My two favourite units in the Codex.
Yeah, you've got quite a few of those in your in the cabinets at the moment.
Yes, I do.
Sat there doing nothing at the moment, so
yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying those out. Dark Angels, they got a whole bunch of stratagems. We're going to put them up on the screen as we go through. A whole bunch of ones that the vanilla Space Marines got as well.
Yeah.
They didn't get absolutely everything, but they got the ones I really like. They got Honour the Chapter, which is good for getting an extra Warlord trait, and there's some really good Warlord traits in this book.
Really good ones.
Yeah. What other ones did you see which you liked?
So just like Blood Angels, they got Transhuman Physiology, which I think is just really useful overall. I really like it as a strat. I mean, I think that's going to be amazing on things like Deathwing Knights.
Yeah, because this book really favours running big units of things, and I think Transhumans situationally very good. Yeah. And they got all the standard ones, turning your Stalker bolt rifles into sniper weapons as well, which I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, they've definitely learned some lessons from the Marine book, and they've got some really good strats transferred over from that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the good ones. So first up, you have high speed focus. So for this one, essentially you get a jinx save without jinking.
Yeah.
So anyone who doesn't know what jinx save is, you get a 4+ invulnerable save from your unit. You normally only get it when you advance. So the big difficulty was Black Knights, for example. They're really, really vulnerable if you didn't get first turn and you didn't advance them.
Yeah.
Whereas now, when a unit is targeted, you can suddenly jinx. So it's a bit like 7th edition again. I'm jinking!
Yeah, my jinking, yeah. So it gives them so much more survivability now, especially being toughness 5 with 4+ invulnerable save. I mean, that's really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
considering you can't put these units in reserve, it is absolutely huge to have that. But I also think that it doesn't favour running multiple units of Ravenwing, because for the same thing as that, one unit would just target it, make it jink, and then shoot the other unit. A bit like what you do with multiple knights, where you make one rotate his iron shields and you go to the other one.
Yeah, it definitely favours single units of models, but big units of models to get the most benefit out of the stratagem itself.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so sticking with the Ravenwing theme, the next one I want to talk about is Evasive. And this is a 5+ invulnerable save for Ravenwing in combat. Yeah. Again, it's a nice reactive one, so once you're targeted in the combat phase, you put this on 5+ invulnerable save.
Yeah, big having that. Once they're in combat again, they're probably where they're most vulnerable, having their invulnerable saves. So just nice having something that gives them a bit more survivability is always really good.
Yeah, like that one a lot. 1 CP as well.
Yeah.
Always a win for 1 CP. Next one to talk about is that you can get targeted focus. So land speeders, they can basically call out a target within 12 inches, and then the rest of your army gets rerolls to hit against it.
Yeah.
Very nice. If you've got a back line of plasma cannons and all these other things, and bearing in mind Dark Angels get a lot of really cool land speeders, so their character land speeders such as Samael and Sableclaw, Talon Masters, they're all. Yeah. Even your Dark Shroud, your the one with the plasma cannon on the top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, land speeder Vengeance, I think.
Vengeance, yeah.
I mean, they're all land speeders, so this is actually really useful.
Yeah, so if you've been playing a very heavy Ravenwing style force, it's really good. You're going to have something that's going to make the use of this.
Yes,
it's really good.
And it's reroll all hits as well.
It's reroll all hits, yeah.
Not failed hits.
Not failed hits.
So really spicy there, I think.
Yeah, so if you're coming up against the -1s and 2 armies, being able to reroll all hits rather than just defense, that's pretty big.
Yep, so it's even better than a Chapter Master. So there you go. And there's no aura around it as well. It's just 12 inches. Rest of my army, fire!
Yeah, really good.
Okay, so the next one to talk about is Full Throttle. And this really combos with some of the other stratagems we're going to talk about with dropping down your Death Watch.
Deathwing.
Yes.
Deathwing.
I've been not playing
Death Watch on the brain.
Yeah. So basically, it means that you can move in advance for the second time, which is really nice. So you can move in advance 20, and then you can move in advance again, but you can't shoot or assault.
Correct.
But this really combos with the stratagem for 2 CP for dropping your Deathwing down.
Yeah.
So you can drop your Deathwing down within 6 inches of a Ravenwing unit.
Yeah.
So provided they didn't advance.
Yeah. So it's a really good setup, ready for like turn 2 when your Deathwing want to come in. So like I say, you're not going to get the shooting from the actual Ravenwing, but as a setup, it's really good.
Yeah.
Really solid.
Okay, so speaking of the dropping down within 6, this is the Deathwing specific stratagem. So the Ravenwing bike hasn't advanced. Their combined assault, they use the teleport homers, and they drop down within 6. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's really strong. I mean, dropping in within 9 inches of the enemy has always been a big deal for anyone. But you're talking a massive unit of Deathwing Knights, for instance. That's pretty terrifying, especially with combined with a lot of survivability that they're going to gain from.
Yes.
We'll go through it, but there's a lot of stuff going for Deathwing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's no reason why you can't stack other buffs on top of this, though. So your Chaplain, you're +2 to charge.
Correct.
Listening. So now all of a sudden, these guys, if you run a Chaplain with a jump pack, now you're getting you're at a 4-inch charge.
4-inch charge, straight out of a deep strike.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is amazing. Now the other stratagems the Deathwing they're going to get they get +1 to hit in any phase. So this favours 2 different builds. Either you can drop down a lot of shooty Terminators, because they get the Bolt of Discipline. Now you'll get a squad of 10 of them would get 40 shots at AP -1, and they can shoot twice.
Yeah.
I think this stratagem's overcosted, but there's something called Deathwing Assault from the original book where you get +1, so you can shoot at the end of your movement phase, which is really cool for like clearing screens to drop in other units as well.
Yes.
2 to 3 CP depending on how big your squad is. I don't think it's worth it because they mainly just got bolters.
Probably not, because you're probably not going to be running masses and masses of CP that you'll be able to throw at this, because you're only saving it for all the survivability ones, I think.
No. Honestly, I think Deathwing Knights are better, and it's just really cool in combat because they normally hit on 3, so making them hit on 2s.
Twos.
Yeah. And there's no negatives on those maces, they always just hit on. There's no -1 to hit on them. So I think that's really nice. So the next one is Stand Firm.
It's pretty good. It's a +1 toughness reactive in the fight phase for Deathwing, which is pretty good.
That's good. So your big squad of 10 Deathwing Knights now are
toughness 5.
Toughness 5. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean it's a reactive stratagem. So if you're getting hit by a whole bunch of strength 4 shooting, which is typically what takes down Terminators, just mass fire. That's really big. Now the other thing Deathwing can do, again from the original book, is they can Deathwing Knights, they can get -1 to wound in combat as well. So if you're getting hit by a bunch of strength 4 attacks in combat, suddenly everything's hitting you on 6s because you're +1 toughness, -1 to wound.
Yeah.
Now they can get even more survivable than that, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit more in the videos till we tell you exactly what's happening with that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's big, especially because you're already 2+ armor, you're 3+ vulnerable save. With those strats, that is a very, very tough unit to break.
Yeah.
Really, really tough unit to break.
Yeah, and then you've got Outnumbered but never outmatched, which is +1 attack if you're being attacked by 10. If you're targeting 10 or more models in the same unit.
Yeah.
Situational, but it's good.
Great clearing screens, like anything like orcs, like guard, anything like that's pretty solid.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so we're going to go through Warlord traits and relics now, and there's some really, really good ones here. First off, to say they did get the access to all the Phobos stuff, just like you'd expect with the Blood Angels got access to it all.
Yep.
No change to that from the standard Space Marine stuff, so we're not going to cover it. So, on to the new spicy Warlord traits.
New Warlord traits.
Yeah. So it's divided up into, you get 3 Deathwing ones and 3 Ravenwing ones. None for Greenwing. No love for Greenwing here.
No, Freddy, you're going to have to make do with the stuff that's in the
you've got to be
book.
on the bike or you've got to be in Terminator armor. That's what it's all about here. So let's start with the best one. And I think this is massive. This is what really benefits that big unit of Terminators. So the first one you're going to talk about is we have reroll wounds, a 6-inch aura against characters or models with 8 or more wounds, which is pretty much anything you care about in the game.
Yeah.
Because you're strength 8 anyway with the Deathwing Knights, so reroll wounds with melee weapons against them. If you're not 8 or more wounds or a character, you're probably not going to be that tough anyway.
Pretty much. The stuff you really want to be worried about is anything that's like toughness 7 and 8 anyway, from the Knights, for instance, and being able to reroll to wound against them makes them really, really solid.
I think this is really good. And so you're going to put this on a Deathwing Ancient, and we might as well tell you now, you can get a 5-up Feel No Pain aura, as well as the Ancient gives +1 attack to those Deathwing Knights as well.
Yeah.
So that unit of 10 Deathwing Knights is going to drop down. They're going to get +1 attack. They're going to drop down within 4 inches. They're going to get 4-inch charge. They're going to get +1 attack for being a Space Marine, +1 attack for being next to the Ancient. So each one of those dudes is now getting 4 attacks each. And they're going to re-roll all wounds. And they're going to hit on 2s with the +1 to hit.
Yeah, and then -1 to wound and -1. It's +1 toughness.
Yeah, +1 toughness, -1 to wound. Oh, that's so good.
And then if you really, really hate your opponent, you can just go like, I'm transhuman, you can only wound me on 4, 5, or 6s if you want to fight me.
Yeah, but you see, I don't think if you're toughness 5 and you're -1 to wound, you don't need transhuman.
You don't.
There's nothing in the game.
There's nothing in the game.
Yeah.
But if you've got CP to burn, you just want to just be like, then you're not killing these guys, transhuman as well, whatever.
Yeah. Short of stuff which has got a lot of pluses to wound. I mean, it's not needed.
It's really good against Blood Angels. Really good counter to Blood Angels, +1 to wound.
Okay, next thing to talk about is inexorable. I can't really pronounce that, but you can't be wounded on a 1 to 3.
Yeah.
It's alright, it's only on the character. So things which you really want with Warlord traits is auras, and on a character.
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to be getting targeted that often to make it really worth it, and
basically no, there's better things to be taken.
Yeah.
Such as the one we just told you about.
Yeah. And this next one, possibly.
I think situationally, this next one is actually really, really good. And it's called The Watched. Or just Watched, I think.
Just Watched, I think it's called.
It's the little green guy, The Watcher. So, once per battle, unlimited range, no rolls needed, you make a psychic power go away. You deny it, so things like, I think it's the Emperor's Children where they auto pass one. and it can't be denied. It won't work against that, but against anything else, you can make a psychic power go away.
Yep.
But it's once per game.
It's once per game.
What do you think? A win or not?
It is very situational. I mean, if you're playing something like when we talked to Manny recently about his possessed bomb.
Yeah.
Recently, and one of the big things in that is warp time to get them to move again. Just being able to just go, nope, they cannot move now when they come in from warp time. That's really big. Again, it's very situational on who you're playing, but you can really ruin people's day with like a simple deny power. Really good.
Yeah. So and in fact it's unlimited range. So you could use Hero of the Chapter to get your extra Warlord trait. So you get a choice pre-game which one you're going to use. So for this one, you would take it if you know that your opponent's got a key psychic power, and that one opening in the game where you make it go away and then you destroy them.
Yeah.
So I think really good power, but you're probably not going to take it every time. The one you are going to take every time is Lay Low the Mighty for reroll wounds, and you're going to take that on a Deathwing agent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Ravenwing Warlord traits next up. So we have impeccable mobility. You don't suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons with your Ravenwing. It's a 6-inch aura.
Pretty good. Good for those land speeder vengeance with the plasma.
Yeah, that and the Talon Masters is the big one because they.
Oh yeah.
Talon Masters is huge for. But unless you're running multiple Talon Masters, and I think a lot of Talon Masters is too expensive.
I think so. One and Samael seems to be probably about right.
I mean, if you had a little bubble of Ravenwing Dark Talons and some Talon Masters and stuff, I could see why that could be quite good because they're all heavy weapons and they're all moving. Yeah. But again, I think there's better powers to be had there. Next one up is tactically flexible, and then basically it's once per game you can make a unit act as if it's in a different doctrine. They don't get the other doctrine as well, but you can go this turn, this one's going to have the assault doctrine.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah. And when we talked about earlier about their devastator doctrines earlier about 6 inches, so you keep that, and then you could say, well, I'm going to switch to tactical doctrine for these guys with their bolters, so they go minus A1 AP.
Again, it's all right, but it's only an extra -1 AP. It's not. Yeah. It's not amazing.
Yeah, and again, I think with Warlord traits, there are just better ones to take.
Right. So my favourite one for the Ravenwing is called Outrider. Now, this is just sort of almost standard redeploy thing. So you get a 12-inch move at the start of the game, and you have to end 9 inches away from your enemy. So things like if your opponent's putting scouts out, that would block it. But essentially, it means that your Ravenwing Black Knights, that SWAT of 10, can move 12 inches, then it can move 20 inches with Speed of the Raven, and then shoot an assault. So it's got a 32-inch move if you get first 10.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Or if you don't get first 10, given that Ravenwing Black Knight unit is a little bit of a glass cannon, you can put it behind cover or out of line of sight. So again, I think there's some definite uses for that.
Yeah, and it's for a unit and the Warlord as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as well.
So your Talon Master or something else like that, who would be your Warlord, you'd move both of those at the same time. So relics to start with here, guys. So we start with the spiciest, the best one there is there.
Yeah, Pennant of Remembrance.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about giving the Deathwing a 5+ Feel No Pain. This is what is giving it. Yeah. So it's really nice.
So remember, it's models within 6, so you'd have to there's still a 12-inch radius.
It is. It's pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool. And he still gets his +1 attack banner as well. So I think this is it's made for a Deathwing agent who came down a lot of points in chapter approved.
Yeah, he did. So not losing the benefits of his current banner is brilliant. And combined with this, really solid.
And then you give him the Warlord trait for the reroll wounds, like we discussed already.
Yeah.
So what else have we got here?
There's we got the Ravenwing Biker model, which is worsen the invulnerable saves of enemy units by 1 within 3 inches.
So at first, I thought that sounded really cool, but it's models.
It is models.
So if you charge into a big unit of demons, it's literally going to do nothing because you're going to be within 3 inches of 3 of them, and they'll just take the invulnerable saves on the ones who are not. It's like how the old null zone worked, where it affects models within a certain range, whereas the new null zone affects units.
Yeah.
So if this was to be any use, and maybe this will be FAQ, guys, because At the moment, I don't really see much use for this relic outside of single, like taking on a single.
It's unusual because GW seem to have moved a lot of things that affect models to units, so it's unusual to still have something that affects singular models.
Yeah.
So
at the moment, unless you're fighting like a single demon, this is trash. I wouldn't go near it.
Yeah.
Because you'll never get within 3 inches of the whole unit.
Yeah, I mean, if a demon prince charges you,
yeah, say single models,
really good, but
it's of some use. Against everything else, it's terrible.
Yeah, pretty much. So we've got the Ravenwing Talon Master, which is called Corvus Oculus, which is 6 inches to range characteristics of ranged weapons.
So this is quite cool. I mean, I don't think I'd take this one, but you've got your 6 inch for your going pure doctrine if you want to go that way, plus 6 inches again, and then you get +1 to hit. Because Ravenwing are typically, the Talon Masters have always suffered from that negative to hit when they move because they're entirely heavy weapons on the speed.
Yeah, having +1 to hit as part of that is quite nice, yeah.
So they can sit at the back of the board and hit on 2s with their plus 12 inch range then.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, 36 and range assault cannons. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Especially because they ignore cover as well.
Yes,
for being
and reroll 1s to wound. So, I mean, it can make a Talon Master pretty effective, actually.
Yeah, really good. Okay, I think the last one that's going to be, the most useful one is the Standard of the Unforgiving Hunt, which is a Ravenwing ancient model, +1 to advance and charges for any Ravenwing units within 6 inches.
It's pretty. That's pretty good. I mean, Ravenwing are pretty fast already, so it may not be as useful as all that. I mean, if you can get a 32-inch move before the end of the first turn and then charge anyway, it's not that good. But I mean,
Ravenwing are pretty much going wherever they want.
Anyway, yeah.
With pre-game moves and double moves
and triple moves.
Yeah. So having +1 to advances and charging,
no, it's +2 because they can advance and charge anyway. So I mean, it's all right.
It's not bad.
I just think there's better out there.
Yeah, I think so. I think for me, it's the Deathwing banner's the big one out of this.
Yeah, it is. Damn, he's back. Right. Should we quickly talk about the special issue war gear?
We should.
The only one which I think is of any use is Mastercrafted Weapon. It's from the Space Marine ones, but Dark Angels can actually make some pretty cool smash captains, you know?
Yeah.
So you take him on a Thunderhammer, which is all right. But the thing, you've got I think it's called like the Lion and Wolf stratagem. So if you've got a Space Wolf and you've got a Dark Angel, they have a little fight before the game starts, and each one, they've got, on a 4-up, they take a mortal wound. Big deal. The characters, it probably doesn't matter that much, but they get +1 strength, attack, leadership, and weapon skill. So all of a sudden, considering like your chapter master with weapon skill 2+ anyway, so now that you've got essentially a no negative to hit Thunderhammer, you get +1 attack, and you get
+1 strength.
+1 strength, so it's a strength 10 4 damage Thunderhammer with no negative to hit.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing survives that.
But all I'm saying is that that's actually very good, and you can do that stratagem as much as you want, by the way, guys, because it's a pre-game one, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can make some really cool characters with that.
It's probably not as mobile as like a Blood Angels captain.
No, he hasn't got the delivery mechanism, but apart from that, it's really good.
Yeah, I really like it. It's really, really good.
Or you can obviously put a chaplain with a jump pack, not on a bike anymore. Not on a bike, because he's in.
Damn you, legend models.
So you can do a chaplain, and he can have a strength 10 power fist with which can go up to damage 5, because you do the mantra of strength for +1 damage, and then you do the mastercrafted on the power fist as well.
Yep.
And then you give him +1 strength and +1 attack, so it'll be a strength 12 power fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just want it that way, it's cool.
Yeah. Or you could give him a strength 8 Crozius. That's always pretty hilarious. Yeah. He starts bashing knights to death with his holy stick. That's pretty good.
But I think a no negative to hit power fist with damage 3 to 5 with +1 attack.
Absolutely.
That's fairly spicy.
Yeah. Really, really good.
Yes.
Of course, the other way of doing it is making a character Deathwing, and then they can drop him within 6 inches of the bikes, so they definitely do have a delivery mechanism, so that could be really good.
The rest of the Mastercraft, the rest of the Special Issue War Gear is terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty much all the same as the regular Space Marine books.
Okay, should we talk about the Chaplain power?
We should talk about the Chaplain power.
To start off, we'll put on the screen the new data sheets for the Chaplains. I've got to say, I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, we for an army that was based like the Chaplain's supposed to be the cool.
Yeah, the Interrogator Chaplain is literally. It's literally iconic, isn't it? If you think of Chaplains, Interrogator Chaplain, you think of Dark Angels, because that's what they're all about. They don't get any Chaplains which cast more than one litany a turn.
Yeah, not even their special, is it? Asmodai?
Yeah, he knows to, but he can still cast one.
Yeah.
Even the Blood Angel special characters, they can cast 2.
Yeah, so Astrath with his giant axe can cast 2. Any normal
Space Marine,
cheap Space Marine Chaplain with the
Master of Sanctity.
Master of Sanctity.
They can cast 2.
Can cast 2. So it's really strange that an army that has so much lore behind them, having loads of these really cool chaplains, don't have anything to cast 2.
Yeah, so big disappointment there. Their chapter specific one is they can move and shoot. They can move and shoot their weapons as if they haven't moved. And it's an aura of 6 inches, which is really cool. I think that's really nice for things like if you want to move forwards with your plasma cannons with their increased range. Again, that's really nice in first turn alpha strikes, just being able to reach essentially, plus 12 inches there, because you've got a 6-inch move plus a 6-inch.
If you need to move
range.
eliminators for line of sight, because I think their rifles are all heavy as well, which is again is not too awful, but
yeah, and obviously using your bolter discipline counts as if you're not moving as well.
yeah.
So you can move forward all your Space Marines and shoot at maximum range as if you haven't moved. So I think there is some uses for it. I don't think it's better than your +1 to hit and your +1 to wound, which we're going to cover in a minute, and your +2 to charge. I think they're the really good ones. It's just really frustrating that you can't get more than 1 power on one guy, because I think there's so many uses for these things.
Yeah.
And it'd really make this army tick if you could take more than one.
And I do think thematically for the army, it makes a lot of sense for them to be able to just cast 2.
Yeah.
Or if they had something that lets them cast 2, like I said, a Master of Sanctity stratagem, which they can just take.
Yeah.
Because they're not a vanilla Marine chapter, they can't have access to any of the Master's special stuff, which is a shame.
Okay, so bringing this all together. So this is what I had in mind. Number 1, I don't think these guys need to be run pure. But this is what I think you need to do with this unit. You have a big unit of Black Knights. They pre-game move 12. They can then speed of the Raven, so move and advance and count as not advancing another 20 inches. So now they've moved 32 inches. Before you do that pre-game move, you could cast your litany of +1 to hit or +1 to wound. They've got other ways of getting +1 to hit, so I don't think that one's essential, because you could use the +1 to hit from Signal the Advance if you took the Specialist Detachment.
Yes.
So they're going to be +1 to hit, they're going to be +1 to wound, they're going to move 32 inches. So they're going to be, the closest target to them is going to be whatever the hell they want, because they can move 32 inches.
Yeah.
So they're going to smash up the board. They're going to do the +1 damage on their plasma weapons. So they're going to have 20 shots with 3 damaged plasma weapons, which are going to be hitting on 2s. You're going to have the Talon Master next to them, so they're going to be re-rolling 1s. They're going to ignore cover as well. That's probably going to kill an Imperial Knight with their +1 to wound.
Yeah, statistically, I think it should just kill a knight, just outright.
Or just about kill a knight, but it's going to be absolutely savage, that. Now, you can use a Librarian, you can cast Righteous Repugnance for reroll hits and wounds in combat on that unit. All of a sudden, that combat unit is actually pretty damn good. So they're going to run in, then you can use the stratagem from the Vigilus book to run away after you've fought.
Yeah.
So you've got 2 uses for that. You've got the inexpensive one where you can literally run back behind some cover. So if you wipe the unit out, you can advance, then move back behind some line of sight blocking. Or you could move, another sort of 14 or 20 inches across the board and then fight again because you're charged. Yeah, I think that's absolutely a little bit too expensive, but then you could wrap something up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's a really, really cool thing you can do with that.
I mean, CP-wise, it's easy to do because, like I said, we don't need to run them, I think, as pure, which means you can take things like Loyal 32 just for a CP battery, and you've still got room for other stuff in there, so it doesn't feel like it's...
So the next turn, you move your Chaplain up the board. You cast the litany of +2 to charge. You drop down your Deathwing and you trail them back to the Chaplain.
Yeah.
So now they have a 4-inch charge from Deep Strike.
Yeah.
And then you drop in the Ancient behind them as well, so then they're going to get rerolls to hit in combat, rerolls to hit and rerolls to wound in combat.
Reroll to wound in combat.
You cast Righteous Repugnance, so you get rerolls to hit as well. all of a sudden this is an all-star unit. It's going to come in and it's going to murder everything. It's going to be, you can make it -1 to wound, +1 toughness as well, and it's getting us 5 up, feel no pain. So that's where I think this army really ticks. It's really quite good.
Yeah, Ravenwing and whatever else you're bringing in your army is clearing screens.
Yeah,
there's very little for your opponent to do. Once those Deathwing are in there, they're getting to where they want.
Yeah,
in the majority of games, they're getting to what they need to kill.
And that Deathwing's actually surprisingly mobile, because once they come in, they get +2 the charge, and then they get +3 inches to their pile-ins and their consolidate, so they can really move around the place. They can wrap things really easily with that essentially 12-inch move after because they get a 6-inch pile-in and a 6-inch consolidate.
Yeah,
you could even make them fight twice. I mean,
they cover so much space as well, just because they're on 40mm Terminator bases.
Yeah.
So once they start consolidating and
if you get a 6-inch pile-in consolidate and you fight twice with that unit, that's 24 inches of movement in the fight phase after you've charged. That's pretty damn good.
For a model, it would usually normally have a 5-inch movement.
Move, yeah.
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 That seems perfectly fine.
And that combo there, everything's either going to have a 4-up and vulnerable save or a 3-up and vulnerable save with a feel no pain.
Yeah. Really good.
Maybe it's not ultra top tier, but I think that's a really cool, fun unit to use, and it's going to catch people off guard. Just the speed at which that comes in.
Yeah. It's a very traditional bomb unit in terms of you drop in one big Death Star unit in your army, and you want that to be putting in the work. Yeah, you're right. It is a lot. It is quite expensive too, and you've got to cast a lot of powers and invest a lot of CP. But if everything goes off, they kill anything in the game. Realistically, there's very little in the game that they're going to struggle to kill, except maybe a mirror match, perhaps.
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think you could run that as a part of Imperial Soup. You could run some. You thought some Raven Guard Centurions. So you drop in your Deathwing, you drop in 3 units of Raven Guard Centurions, or you run them up the board first turn.
Yeah.
And then you have some Imperial Fists in the back, just ignoring line of sight and cover with some Thunderfire cannons or something to hold your backfield.
Yeah, I like the idea of that.
I think that's quite a fun little army there.
Yeah. Or alternatively, you could run them alongside something like Blood Angels. So you've got the speed of the Ravenwing and the punch of the Death Watch, and then you can have a Blood Angel Smash Captain in there, who's just going to go off and murder something, and then maybe some Dreadnoughts. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, so I think, honestly, guys, this codex hit, this supplement is really, really good. Yeah, I'm certainly getting some games in with it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it for maybe one game and then immediately never playing that again.
Well, I think we need to do that as a battle report, because I think the Dark Angels definitely have some play now.
Absolutely. Right.
So, guys, that's it. Let us know below. Let us know if you've missed anything. If you've seen anything which looks really cool, let us comment below.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next video. We should have the Grey Knights and the Thousand Suns video up on the site, providing everything goes well.
And don't forget, guys. And don't forget, you can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook.
They know
Twitter,
about YouTube.
They know about YouTube.
Yeah.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find us all at D6 Evolution.
Right, take care.
Bye, guys.